The void of deep space stretched endlessly, a canvas of glittering stars scattered across darkness. Among them, a single human ship drifted silently, barely noticeable. Its hull was sleek, unassuming, almost primitive compared to the massive alien warships that patrolled the sector. But what humans called the Dauntless carried secrets the galaxy had yet to imagine. Captain Elias Karan stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind his back, eyes scanning the holographic star charts projected before him. His crew, a blend of humans and alien allies, moved efficiently, their chatter subdued by the tension in the room. "Captain," Lieutenant Arya Ven said, her voice tight with concern, "the Xerian fleet is moving into Sector 12. They're 3 hours out from intercepting us." Karan didn't flinch. The Xerians were notorious in this region. 12 massive warships, bristling with energy cannons and shields that could vaporize planets. "Good," he said calmly. "Let them come. We'll see if their reputation matches reality." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. To any observer this was madness. A single human ship against an entire fleet? The odds were impossibly stacked against them. But humans had a way of turning impossibility into opportunity. Far across the galaxy, in the Xerian High Command, Admiral Velter studied the star charts projected above the council chamber. His sleek, scaled fingers traced the path of the Dauntless. "A single human ship," he hissed, "thinking it can challenge 12 of our finest vessels. Such arrogance. Prepare the fleet. Engage on my command." In the council chamber, representatives of other alien species watched quietly, some with amusement, others with mild concern. Humans were the galaxy's newest species, still untested, yet their audacity alone demanded attention. "They are small, primitive," one elder commented. "Yet they endure." Back on the Dauntless, Karan moved toward the tactical console. All systems online. Shields at 70%, weapons calibrated. He paused, looking out at the endless darkness. "Remember, crew, it's not the size of the ship, but the size of the mind behind it that wins battles. We're not here to survive. We're here to prove something. Humanity is not weak. Humanity adapts. Humanity wins." The first Xerian scout ships appeared as tiny points of light, moving in precise formation. The Dauntless sensors picked them up instantly, and the bridge filled with tension. Ven gritted her teeth. "They're testing us." "Let them," Karan said. He activated the ship's experimental cloaking array, a technology humans had been developing in secret. Within moments, the Dauntless vanished from all conventional sensors. The Xerian fleet, confident in their advantage, did not detect the invisible predator hiding among the stars. In orbit above a nearby gas giant, the Xerian fleet slowed. "Where is it?" Velter growled. "Scan the system. It cannot escape us." A lieutenant reported, "Sensors show nothing, Admiral." Velter slammed a clawed hand on the table. "Impossible. No human ship should outmaneuver us. Deploy probes. Find it." Meanwhile, Karan smiled subtly. "They never learn," he muttered. "Time to begin the lesson." With a single command, the Dauntless released a series of microdrones, each smaller than a finger but capable of releasing electromagnetic pulses powerful enough to disable the Xerian fleet's targeting systems. One by one, Xerian cannons went dark. Shields dropping. "Weapons offline," a panicked officer cried. From the human bridge, Karan watched, unflinching. "Fire the plasma torpedoes. Precise, surgical strikes. Take out the command ships first." Explosions lit up the void, fiery blossoms against the black canvas of space. Xerian ships staggered under the assault, their confidence cracking. The council observers on Xeria Prime were aghast. "They are calculating precise," muttered one. In the chaos, Karan's voice echoed across the bridge. "Humanity does not surrender. We adapt. We fight smarter. We strike where they least expect it." The first part of the battle was won, not by overwhelming firepower, but by cunning, intelligence, and precise execution. And this was just the beginning. In the aftermath, Karan's crew gathered in the command bay. Arya Ven spoke softly, almost in awe. "Captain, we actually did it. 12 against 1. Karan turned, eyes gleaming with quiet pride. "Not 12 against 1, he corrected. 12 against humanity. And they just learned why they should never underestimate us." Beyond the immediate battle, the galaxy began to whisper. Small fleets reported anomalies, unexplainable phenomena, and sudden disappearances of Xerian scouts. Across countless worlds, aliens began to realize humans were not like any species they had ever encountered. And somewhere in the shadows, the elder of the Galactic Council muttered, Perhaps the legends are true, a ship that knows no defeat. A species that bends reality to its will. Humanity. The calm before the storm was over. Humanity's audacity had announced itself to the galaxy. And the universe would never look at them the same way again. The Galactic Council chamber was vast beyond comprehension, a cathedral of alien architecture that seemed to stretch into infinity. Thousands of delegates from hundreds of species gathered, their myriad shapes, colors, and forms creating a chaotic mosaic of life. The council's hum of voices echoed like an alien symphony, a mixture of debate, laughter, and subtle threats. Elder Vox, a gaunt, crystalline entity, stood at the center podium. His multifaceted eyes reflected the chamber's light, and his voice cut through the murmurs like a blade. "Honored members, the humans have revealed themselves," he began, his tone grave. "A single ship, invisible to our sensors, has disabled 12 Xerian warships without suffering a scratch. This is not coincidence. This is not luck. Humanity is evolving faster than any species we have catalogued." The chamber erupted. Some laughed, dismissing his warning. "Humans are small, unarmed, and insignificant," a Krillian noble sneered, tentacles twitching in amusement. "A single ship? Child's play. Let them have their moment. We have survived far greater threats." Vox's eyes flickered with quiet fury. "Do not underestimate them. Their adaptability, their cunning is unparalleled. And they will continue to surprise us." In the back of the chamber, a shadowed figure observed. Ambassador Zwedich Culvin of Xeria leaned forward, his scaled face tight with anger. "They are an anomaly," he hissed. "A small annoyance at best. The council should sanction their eradication before they spread further." "Before you act," a voice replied, melodic and cold, "consider what you are truly facing." It was Lady Thressa of the Sivar Collective, her sleek, silver skin reflecting light in waves. "The humans may appear fragile. Yet one has already crippled your fleet. Their minds are weapons far sharper than your energy cannons. If you strike too soon, you may awaken something unstoppable." Across the galaxy, on the human flagship Dauntless, Captain Karan reviewed new intelligence. Sensors had intercepted encrypted Xerian communications discussing council debates and fleet deployments. Humans had developed a sophisticated AI decryption system, capable of breaking alien codes in minutes. Lieutenant Venn leaned over the tactical console, fingers dancing across holographic panels. "Captain, the Xerians are planning a retaliatory strike. They'll launch a larger fleet to hunt us. Estimates suggest we will face 40 ships within 2 days." Karan nodded, calm and collected. "Then we give them exactly what they expect, and then we rewrite the rules." The crew moved with precision. Engineers ran simulations of warp field distortions, sensor jamming, and microdrone maneuvers. Humans thrived under pressure, their creativity turning fear into invention. 2 days later, Xerian warships entered the system, a glittering phalanx of overwhelming power. But the humans were ready. The Dauntless cloaking field had been upgraded. Their microdrones now carried advanced quantum disruptors capable of scrambling the fleet's targeting matrix. When the battle began, the Xerians were confident. Their formation was tight, their firepower unmatched. But one by one, the Dauntless struck unseen, disabling engines, severing communications, and picking off command vessels with surgical precision. The human crew moved as a single entity, anticipating alien maneuvers, exploiting weaknesses, and striking where least expected. Amid the chaos, Karan addressed the enemy through a universal comm channel. His voice calm, commanding, and distinctly human. "You have underestimated us. You assume size and firepower define superiority. You are wrong. Intelligence, adaptability, and unity define the apex. Humanity is not your prey. We are your reckoning." The Xerian Admiral Velter's face twisted in rage, claws pounding the console. "This is impossible. A single ship cannot." Karan's voice cut across again, cold and deliberate. "A single ship is enough when it carries a species that refuses defeat." Explosions painted the void in violent color. Xerian ships faltered, retreating in confusion. Across council channels, alien delegates watched the destruction live. Shock replaced amusement, disbelief replaced scorn. In the aftermath, the council convened in emergency session. Elder Vox addressed the chamber. "The humans are no longer a curiosity. They are a threat and a marvel. Any species that underestimates them does so at its own peril. We must decide, isolate them, negotiate, or prepare for war on an unprecedented scale." Meanwhile, Karan ordered the Dauntless into hyperspace. The ship emerged in uncharted regions, far from Xerian pursuit. "We've made our statement," he said, gazing out at the stars. "But this is only the beginning. The galaxy has seen what humans can do. Soon they will know the full extent of our capabilities." Arya Ven, studying sensor data, frowned. "Captain, there's something else. Signals from deep space. Unknown origin. Advanced technology, unlike anything we've seen. Could be allies or enemies." Karan smiled faintly, a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "Then it seems we have a new challenge. Humanity thrives on challenges." The Council, the Xerians, and every species watching had one undeniable realization. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and supremely intelligent. They had risen from obscurity to dominance not through brute force, but through strategy, ingenuity, and an unwavering will. And the galaxy would never be the same. Far beyond the known systems, in the darkness of uncharted space, whispers traveled between alien factions. A ship that knew no defeat. A species that defied expectation. Humanity. Deep space had a way of feeling alive. Stars flickered like distant lanterns, and the silence between them was heavy, almost deafening. Yet in this silence, the humans moved with purpose, unseen and unchallenged, for now. The Xerian fleet, humiliated by the Dauntless, had begun a relentless hunt across the sector, deploying patrols, spy probes, and encrypted fleets to track the ship's every move. Captain Elias Karan stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the void. "They think this is a game of chance," he said softly. "They're wrong. Every move they make is predictable. And every mistake they make, we exploit." Lieutenant Arya Ven tapped at the tactical console. "Captain, multiple signals, encrypted, fragmented, but consistent. They're coordinating a search grid across 3 sectors. Xerian intelligence is learning fast. We can't stay in one place for long." "Good," Karan replied, voice calm, almost meditative. "Let them come. Every chase teaches us more about them, and more about ourselves." Far away, Admiral Velter raged aboard his flagship, the Obsidian Talon. His pride had been shattered, and the Council's whispers of human supremacy gnawed at his ego. "They are more than clever," he admitted to his council of officers. "They are dangerous. We must track them, corner them, and erase them before the legend grows." As the Xerian hunt intensified, the humans did not flee blindly. Karan had prepared. Using intercepted Xerian communications, the crew predicted fleet movements, laid false trails, and even deployed holographic decoys to mislead enemy sensors. In one daring maneuver, the Dauntless created a warp signature suggesting it had entered a nearby star, while in reality it was hiding in the planet's shadow. Xerian ships surged toward the phantom signature, only to find empty space. "Another failure for them," Ven whispered, almost amused. "They never saw us coming." Karan allowed himself a faint smile. Patience is a weapon. And the galaxy underestimates human patience. But the humans were not the only ones watching. Signals intercepted from a distant quadrant hinted at a third party, an alien species unknown to the Galactic Council. Their technology was unlike anything humans had encountered. Faster-than-light sensors, energy shields that deflected even quantum disruptors, and ships capable of blending into stellar backgrounds almost perfectly. Ven studied the readings with a frown. "Captain, this isn't Xerian. This is something else. Something powerful. And intelligent." Karan's eyes narrowed. "Then we have new players in this game. Remember, Arya, humans don't retreat. We adapt. If they are allies, we gain strength. If enemies, we gain knowledge and we survive." The next day, the unknown fleet made contact. A single vessel emerged from hyperspace, its hull glimmering with prismatic energy. A voice resonated in every channel, its tone calm, measured, and almost musical. "Humans," it said, "we have observed your actions. Your tactics are unprecedented. We wish to speak." On the bridge, the crew tensed. Karan's hand hovered over the communication console. "Show yourself," he commanded. "And speak clearly, friend or foe?" The response came almost immediately. "We are neutral observers. Your species is evolving at a rate that surpasses any expectation. We wish to understand, not destroy. Yet caution is advised. Other powers will not remain neutral." Karan leaned back, studying the holographic projection of the alien, a being of shifting light and shadow, incomprehensible in form but clearly intelligent. "Then we observe you as well," he said. "And we will determine if you are friend or obstacle." Meanwhile, the Xerian fleet tightened its net. Patrols moved closer, and scouts carried reports of the Dauntless' mysterious maneuvers. Admiral Velter's fury became a dangerous fuel. He ordered a full-scale operation to trap the human ship, coordinating with the Council's less cautious species, who were eager to test humans for themselves. The trap was set in a binary star system, where gravitational forces made navigation treacherous. Charon predicted the move, having studied Xerian tendencies and devised a plan. The Dauntless would appear trapped, vulnerable, in the midst of the twin suns, an irresistible target. But the humans had transformed the battlefield into a labyrinth. Microdrones created holographic hazards, warping energy fields misled sensors, and every shadow concealed a hidden counterattack. As the Xerian fleet advanced, confident in their victory, Charon's calm voice resonated through the bridge. Strike when they expect caution. Hit where they see weakness. Humanity does not fight fair. Humanity fights smart. The battle was chaos incarnate. Xerian cannons fired blindly into the illusions, while the dauntless torpedoes dismantled engines and disabled weapons in perfect sequence. Ships collided, shields overloaded, and one by one the trap became a tomb, for the hunters not the hunted. Across the galaxy news of the encounter spread. Aliens whispered in awe, a species small in number, yet capable of turning even a trap into triumph. Humanity was no longer just clever, it was unstoppable in ingenuity, relentless in execution. After the battle, as the void settled, Charon addressed his crew. Every fleet we face, every trap set for us, makes us stronger. Humans survive because we adapt. We win because we think differently. And every species that underestimates us, learns the hard way. Arya then glanced at him, awe in her eyes. Captain, do you think the galaxy is ready for us? Charon's gaze swept across the stars, unyielding and calm. The galaxy will not be ready. And that is our advantage. Somewhere beyond known space, the observers of shifting light watched quietly. Humanity was no longer a curiosity. Humanity was a force. And the legend of the ship that knew no defeat continued to grow. The void stretched endlessly, silent yet full of hidden possibilities. The Dauntless glided through an uncharted nebula, a swirl of violet and green gases that twisted light like liquid crystal. Stars flickered through the gaseous haze, creating a shifting canvas that seemed almost alive. But the beauty of the nebula was a distraction. The human crew was focused entirely on what lay ahead. Captain Elias Charon stood at the observation deck, eyes narrowed. Sensors indicate something unusual within the nebula. Energy readings that don't match known physics. Could be a remnant of a lost civilization, or a trap. Lieutenant Arya Ven studied the holographic displays, her fingers tracing arcs of data. Captain, these readings, they're unlike anything we've encountered. Shield frequencies, energy pulses, almost as if the nebula itself is alive or being controlled by advanced technology. Charon nodded, the faintest smile on his face. Perfect. Humans thrive on the unknown. Prepare the exploration teams. We go in. Below deck, engineers and scientists activated specialized drones, each designed to withstand the nebula's unusual energy fluctuations. Microsensors extended from the hull, probing the swirling clouds. The data streamed in rapidly, revealing structures buried within the gas, ancient, massive, and unmistakably artificial. The shapes were faintly crystalline, with channels of energy coursing like veins, and inscriptions that defied known galactic alphabets. Captain, Ven said, voice tight with excitement, this isn't just a nebula. It's a hidden station. Possibly millennia old and functional. Charon's gaze sharpened. Then we see what secrets it has. But be cautious. The galaxy doesn't hand out power for free. If someone left this here, they expected it to remain hidden. The crew prepared an expedition. Charon, Ven, and a team of humans boarded a sleek shuttle, the engines cutting silently as they approached the crystalline structure. The station's corridors were vast, echoing faintly as they moved. Walls shimmered with energy conduits that pulsed in response to their presence, as if the station was alive, assessing them. Ven's eyes widened as the readings confirmed the impossible. Captain, this technology, it's beyond even the Council's most advanced fleets. Shield modulation, energy weapons, propulsion systems, all of it predates known history. Whoever built this, humanity could learn more in a single day than we've learned in centuries. Charon nodded solemnly. Then we learn and we prepare. The galaxy will underestimate humans again, and we will turn that into an advantage. Back aboard the Dauntless, engineers began integrating the station's technology. Energy shields that could regenerate almost instantly, propulsion arrays that allowed near-instantaneous repositioning, and weapons capable of variable phase attacks. Humanity was evolving faster than any species had predicted. Meanwhile, the Xerian fleet was closing in. Admiral Velter, frustrated by repeated failures, had resorted to desperate measures. "We cannot allow this human ship to continue unchecked," he bellowed. "All fleets converge. No mercy. We will end this." Vox, observing from the council, addressed delegates. "Do you see now? Humans adapt, learn, and evolve in ways our species cannot anticipate. Their potential is not just for survival, it is supremacy." As predicted, the Xerian assault began. Ships surrounded the nebula, firing into the dense clouds, hoping to flush out the humans. But Charon had anticipated every vector. Using the newly acquired technology, the Dauntless moved unpredictably, slipping through dense energy clouds, its cloaking systems enhanced by the ancient station. Microdrones intercepted incoming fire, redirecting energy into the nebula's natural channels, causing devastating feedback that disabled entire squadrons. Charon addressed the fleet directly, his voice calm yet commanding. "Your pursuit is commendable but futile. You chase shadows while humanity becomes unstoppable. Every trap you set teaches us. Every strike you make feeds our knowledge. Humanity survives because we evolve. Humanity wins because we think beyond the impossible." The Xerian admiral growled. "Impossible? How can one ship?" A sudden surge of energy from the nebula threw the fleet into chaos. Ships spun out of control, shields failing under the exotic energy. The Dauntless emerged unscathed, its systems humming with the power harvested from the ancient station. Ven looked at Charon, awe in her eyes. "Captain, we've just turned the tide. This technology, it makes us more than a threat. It makes us unstoppable." Charon's gaze swept across the nebula, calm but resolute. "Not unstoppable," he corrected, "but unyielding. And the galaxy is about to learn that humanity does not yield. We adapt. We endure. We conquer without surrender." The Xerian fleet retreated, battered and humiliated. Across the council, delegates whispered in alarm and admiration. Humanity had not only survived, they had harnessed the forgotten power of the ancients, elevating themselves beyond all expectation. In the aftermath, Charon addressed his crew. "What we've found here changes everything. The galaxy underestimates us at its peril. But power alone is nothing without strategy, intelligence, and courage. We now have all three in abundance." Far beyond, in the shadows of the uncharted regions, the mysterious alien observers of shifting light watched silently. Humanity was no longer merely clever or adaptable. Humanity was evolving into something extraordinary, something the galaxy had never seen before. The legend of the Dauntless, the ship that knew no defeat, continued to grow. And with it, the rise of a species destined to astonish the stars. The Galactic Council chamber, once a place of careful debate, had transformed into a storm of chaos. Alien species shouted over one another, claws rapped on tables, tentacles flailed, and holographic projections of human victories flashed across the central display. For the first time in recorded history, the council was truly divided. Elder Vox, standing at the podium, tried to bring order. "Listen. The humans are not merely survivors. They are a force of unprecedented capability. Every species underestimates them at its own peril. We must act carefully or risk provoking a war we cannot control." A chorus of dissent arose immediately. "They are weak," hissed Ambassador Zyh Culvin of Xeria. "They have no fleets to match ours, no armies. A single ship cannot challenge the power of our species collectively." "Yet it has," snapped Lady Thressa of the Savar Collective, her voice icy. "A single human ship has dismantled fleets, outmaneuvered our most advanced technology, and survived every trap we set. Every prediction you make about them is already obsolete. We are witnessing the rise of a species capable of challenging the entire council." From the back of the chamber, other representatives whispered among themselves. Some wanted to isolate humanity before their influence spread. Others argued that negotiation might be wiser. One thing was clear. No species had ever seen anything like this. Humanity had become a wild card of unimaginable potential. Far from the council, the Dauntless hovered in orbit around a remote, resource-rich planet. Captain Elias Charon and Lieutenant Arya Ven watched as newly integrated alien technology hummed across the ship's hull, enhancing shields, weapons, and sensors. "Reports indicate that the council is splitting," Ven said. "Some favor preemptive strikes. Others want to offer alliances. The galaxy itself is unstable." Charon's expression was calm but focused. "Exactly how we want it. Chaos is a tool. Fear is a weapon. Humans survive and dominate because we understand both. Let them fracture. Let them make mistakes. Then we act decisively. The first challenge came swiftly. The Xerians, angry and humiliated, launched a coordinated strike, joining forces with two smaller, aggressive factions eager to claim glory. A total of 70 ships moved toward the Dauntless, confident in overwhelming firepower. 70, Ven muttered. Against one. Not against one, Karan corrected. Against humanity. And humanity is prepared. The battle unfolded in orbit above the planet. Xerian capital ships fired concentrated energy beams, smaller vessels swarmed with tactical precision, and alien fleets coordinated relentlessly. But the humans had anticipated every maneuver. Cloaking arrays, advanced microdrones and phase-shifting weapons turned the battlefield into a living maze. Karan directed every attack with surgical precision. Divide their focus. Force them into patterns. Exploit their arrogance. Explosions ripped across the void as Xerian ships collided with each other and with energy distortions the humans created. Shielded corvettes were pulled apart by gravitational traps, energy pulses overloaded command systems, and the alien commanders struggled to comprehend the scale of human ingenuity. Amid the chaos, Karan addressed the enemy fleet via comms. His voice calm but carrying authority. You believe that numbers equal victory. You believe that experience ensures control. You are wrong. Humanity thrives in unpredictability. Every fleet you send, every strategy you devise feeds our strength. We do not surrender. We do not yield. And we do not fail. On board the Xerian flagship, Admiral Velter's face twisted in disbelief. How can one ship, no one species, defy everything we know? By thinking, Karan said softly to himself. By refusing to be confined by expectations. By being human. As the battle reached its peak, the council delegates observed in shock. Xeria, once confident, suffered devastating losses. Other factions began reconsidering preemptive actions, realizing that humans were not merely surviving, they were winning. Strategic brilliance, adaptability, and mastery of alien technology turned the odds completely in their favor. Finally, after hours of intense combat, the remaining Xerian and allied ships retreated. The Dauntless emerged unscathed, hovering over the planet's surface, the crew exhausted but exhilarated. Ven turned to Karan, voice trembling with awe. Captain, we've done it again. The galaxy, it will never see us the same way. Karan's eyes swept the stars, unyielding. Not the galaxy, he said. The Council. And soon, the entire universe will understand what humans are capable of. They underestimate us because they cannot imagine the scope of human will, ingenuity, and resilience. That ends now. Back in the council chamber, Elder Vox looked upon the remaining delegates, his crystalline eyes glinting. Humanity has forced us to divide, to reconsider, to fear. They are a species beyond our predictions. One single ship has shattered conventions, destroyed fleets, and fractured alliances. The time for caution is over. The time to recognize the apex of evolution is now. From the shadows, Lady Thressa and a few other delegates whispered urgently. Perhaps, it is time to ally with them, she said. To join forces with a species that bends reality to its will. To be part of the rise of humanity rather than its victim. And somewhere in the uncharted void, distant alien observers of shifting light watched silently, their forms pulsing with curiosity. Humanity had grown beyond expectation, and the legend of the Dauntless was no longer a tale, it was a blueprint for supremacy. The council was divided. The galaxy was trembling. And humanity, calm and unyielding, stood ready for whatever came next. The galaxy had changed. Systems once calm now trembled under the shadow of humanity's rise. Alien powers who had once laughed at the human species now whispered in fear and awe. Across the council chambers, fleets, and trading worlds, the legend of the Dauntless had spread like a wildfire. Yet none of the humans' victories had prepared them for what lay ahead. The coordinated wrath of nearly every major faction in the known galaxy, united in a single desperate gambit to end humanity's ascent. Captain Elias Karan stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind his back, eyes scanning the holographic map of incoming fleets. 300 ships, he said softly. All the major factions, all the best technology, all converging here. And they think they can stop us. Lieutenant Arya Ven's fingers danced across the tactical console. Captain, their formation is tight, nearly impenetrable. If we engage directly, we'll be overwhelmed. Even with the Dauntless enhancements, we'll need a miracle. Karan's expression was calm, almost serene. Miracles are for the unprepared. Humans make miracles. They had spent weeks preparing. Utilizing technology scavenged from ancient alien stations, reverse-engineered Xerian systems, and their own innovations, humans had created a network of autonomous microdrones, adaptive energy shields, and AI-driven predictive tactics. Every system on the Dauntless pulsed with capability far beyond what the enemy expected. "Captain," Ven said, pointing to a cluster of sensor anomalies, "there's a fleet approaching from the uncharted regions. Unknown origin. Possibly allies, or another threat." Karan smiled faintly. "Then we welcome them. Every variable we can control, every unknown we can manipulate, becomes our advantage. Prepare the fleet for the first stage of the gambit." The final gambit was not a battle of brute force. It was a masterclass in strategy, deception, and adaptability. Using the nebula's gravitational anomalies, humans created a trap that made a fleet of 300 ships appear unstoppable, while in reality, they were funneled into narrow channels where microdrones and adaptive weapon arrays could strike with surgical precision. As the fleets entered the kill zone, Karan's voice echoed calmly across the comm systems. "You believe numbers define victory. You believe tradition ensures control. You're wrong. Humanity thrives where others fail. Humanity wins where others surrender. And today, you will learn the cost of underestimating us." The battle erupted with brutal elegance. Xerian dreadnoughts fired volleys of plasma that were absorbed and redirected by the adaptive shields. Smaller ships collided with invisible microdrones that overloaded their systems, turning every engagement into chaos. The Dauntless moved like a phantom, striking and disappearing, its movements predicted by no one but humans. Yet the shock came from the unknown fleet, the mysterious species from the uncharted regions. Ships of radiant light and impossible geometry emerged, surrounding both humans and their enemies. Their leader, a being of shifting spectra, communicated across the comm system. "Humans, we have observed your evolution. Your strategies defy expectation. You fight with a precision that surpasses calculation. We will not oppose you if you prove worthy." Karan's calm voice responded, "We are humanity. We adapt. We survive. And we will show you what that means." In a daring move, the Dauntless led the enemy fleets into a gravitational slingshot around a binary star system. The massive energy of the stars amplified the human microdrones, weapons, and shields, turning the battlefield into an unpredictable storm. Fleets that had relied on coordination found themselves disoriented, their communications scrambled, their weapons misfiring. Hours of tactical brilliance passed in silence and explosion. Every move was calculated, every counter anticipated. Ships fell in waves, retreating only when survival demanded it. Yet humans never retreated. They adapted, learning from every strike, using enemy formations against themselves. Amid the chaos, Karan ordered the final maneuver, the Phantom Surge. The Dauntless split into hundreds of holographic duplicates, each indistinguishable from the real ship. Fleets fired blindly, destroying illusions while the real ship emerged from the shadows to strike at command vessels. Admiral Velter's roar of frustration echoed across the void. "Impossible. They cannot be human." "They are beyond what you imagined," Karan said quietly to his crew, "because we never stop imagining. Humanity does not yield. Humanity does not fear. Humanity dominates." Finally, the surviving fleets fled or surrendered. The battlefield was silent except for the hum of the Dauntless systems. Humanity had not only survived the impossible, they had orchestrated a victory that would be remembered for millennia. In the council chambers, Elder Vox and Lady Thressa addressed delegates from across the galaxy. "We have witnessed a species that defies expectation. A species that turns chaos into strategy, adversity into strength. Humanity is no longer a curiosity. Humanity is the apex. And to oppose them is folly." Far beyond known space, the observers of shifting light watched silently, their forms pulsing with approval. Humanity had proven not only survival but supremacy. The legend of the Dauntless was now complete. Karan stood on the observation deck looking out at the stars. "We've shown them who we are. But remember this, crew, humanity is not defined by one battle, one ship, or one fleet. Humanity is defined by the will to survive, the intelligence to adapt, and the courage to act when all odds are against us. Today, we've done more than survive. Today, we've defined our destiny." The crew nodded silently. Exhausted, victorious, and unyielding, they understood. The galaxy had seen humanity at its finest. The legend of the ship that knew no defeat had reached its zenith, but the story of humanity had only just begun. The galaxy was quiet, but the calm was not peace. Systems trembled with anticipation, fleets waited in hesitation, and whispers of human supremacy traveled across stars like a rising storm. Humanity had survived impossible odds, defeated countless fleets, and mastered technologies that no other species had ever touched. Yet Captain Elias Karan knew this was more than victory, it was the beginning of a new order. On the bridge of the Dauntless, Karan stood with Lieutenant Arya Ven and the rest of the crew, observing the holographic display of the galaxy. Dots of red, yellow, and green marked the positions of alien fleets, most now hesitant, some openly retreating. Humanity's rise had changed everything. "Captain," Ven said, voice low, "every major faction is waiting. No one dares strike. But neither do they acknowledge our dominance." Karan's gaze swept the stars. "Then we give them reason to acknowledge it. Not through fear but through demonstration. Humanity is more than a ship, more than a fleet. Humanity is a species that bends the universe to its will through courage, intelligence, and unity." The council convened in emergency session. Alien species debated furiously, some demanding human submission, others suggesting alliances. Elder Vox's crystalline voice resonated. "We are witnessing history. Humanity is no longer a fledgling species. They have demonstrated intelligence, adaptability, and power beyond expectation. The question now is not if they dominate, but how we exist alongside them." Ambassador Zwh Culvin of Zyria growled, claws rapping against the council table. "We cannot submit to humans. Our fleets are vast, our power unmatched. They are clever, but cleverness is not supremacy." Lady Thressa of the Sivar Collective spoke, her voice sharp. "Cleverness is only the beginning. Strategy, adaptability, and foresight, qualities humans possess in abundance, are far more valuable than raw numbers. Any species that refuses to see this will fall." Meanwhile, in orbit around the Council's neutral station, the Dauntless prepared a final demonstration. It was not a battle for destruction, but a demonstration of potential. Using the ancient alien technology acquired in the nebula, Karan activated an array of gravitational and energy manipulations across nearby systems. Asteroids moved with precise choreography, ships appeared and disappeared, energy beams danced in impossible patterns. Every move showcased human ingenuity, intelligence, and control over physics itself. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Holographic feeds transmitted across council channels, showing fleets moving with the precision of thought, shields bending energy with near-perfect efficiency, and weapons targeting points that no alien mind could calculate. Karan's voice echoed across channels, calm and commanding. "Behold humanity. We do not dominate through fear alone. We do not conquer through brute force. We adapt, we think, we innovate. We survive not because we are stronger but because we are smarter. And now, the galaxy knows our truth." For the first time, alien species bowed, not in submission but in recognition. Fleets that had once threatened humanity now waited in respect. Allies emerged from the shadows of uncharted space. The mysterious species of shifting light and spectra joined in observation and endorsement, acknowledging humanity's apex capability. Even Admiral Velter of Zyria, humbled and defeated, admitted quietly, "They are beyond anything we imagined. Humans are the apex." On the Dauntless, Karan turned to his crew, pride in his eyes. "We've shown the galaxy who we are. But remember, supremacy is not a gift. It is earned, maintained, and respected. Humans survive because we think, because we adapt, because we never surrender. Today, the galaxy knows it." Ven smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes. "Captain, we've done it. Humanity is supreme." Karan's eyes swept over the stars, calm yet fierce. "Not just supreme, Arya. Unforgettable. Humanity is a species that will shape the course of the universe. And this is only the beginning." Across countless systems, civilizations took note. Humanity's legend spread as stories of the Dauntless, the ship that knew no defeat, inspired fear, respect, and awe. A single species had risen from obscurity, survived impossible odds, outsmarted every adversary, and become the standard against which all others would be measured. Far beyond known space, the observers of shifting light pulsed gently, their forms a silent tribute. Humanity had earned recognition not just as clever survivors, but as apex beings, intelligent, adaptable, and unstoppable. And as the Dauntless disappeared into the stars, preparing for the next chapter of exploration and conquest, one truth became clear across the galaxy. Humanity was not just another species. Humanity was the measure of greatness. Humanity was the legend. Humanity knew no defeat. The galaxy, for all its power, its fleets, its alliances and its pride, had learned the ultimate lesson: never underestimate humans. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer in recognition, as if the universe had acknowledged a new apex. And somewhere in the silent void between galaxies, the legend of the ship that knew no defeat endured forever.